Good morning. Okay, we are recording now. Good morning, everybody. My name is Marcia. This is the webinar Inclusion of Youth Emergent Evaluators in Professional Evaluations, Successful Case from all over the world. We are here, so I'm the facilitator of this session. I want to thank here Clear for these organizations for organizing the G Local Evaluation Week this year. We have more than 30 events in Brazil, almost 200 events all over the world. So it's being very rich. I participated yesterday in some of the events. And so we are here today to talk about our youth experience. So what we want here today is to promote a discussion over the inclusion of youth in professional evaluation environments. So we know there's some barriers to get in, so some conditions when you see an opportunity open. So understand different perspectives from different countries. We have here Chile, we have here Brazil, we have Cameroon, we have Thailand, and we have, what else? Mozambique, Africa. So it's very rich to have here people from different continents. We also want to call for attention to these barriers and for maybe facilitators for the youth to work on the evaluation arena. So we are planning 15 minutes per presentation, and after that a round discussion where we can freely talk about and discuss maybe ways to facilitate this situation or ideas, and I hope everybody participates. Okay, Nazir ul Haq will share his presentation, and I'll stop sharing here.
Thank you, Marcia. Can I just check my microphone if it is working? Okay, thank you, Marcia, for your kind introduction.
I want to introduce you a little bit better. So Nazir is a monitoring, evaluation, and learning officer at Mekong Institute, Thailand. He has around 8 years of experience in development sector in other countries like Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, and China. He's also co-founder of ISPRU Youth, Pakistan. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you for your kind introduction. Hello, everyone, and good evening from Thailand. It's around 9 p.m. here. It's indeed a great pleasure to be the part of this webinar along with other amazing young and emerging evaluators from different parts of the world. And I would like to thank my colleagues from Brazil for organizing this event and inviting us to be the part of it. And I hope as objective of the session, we will be able to create greater discussion around the inclusion of youth in professional evaluations. My name is Nazirul Haq. Basically, I'm from Pakistan, and for the last few years, I have been working in Thailand with an intergovernmental organization called Mekong Institute. I work as monitoring, evaluation, and learning officer. And in addition, I'm also a member of few professional evaluation groups, including Eval Youth Asia, Ideas, Young and Emerging Evaluators Group, and as well as the EVAL SDGs network. Uh, my entry into the field of professional evaluation has been, I would say, a bit unexpected and unplanned. I have been working in development sector for around 8 years since 2011, taking a short break for my master's studies from 2012 to 2014. Uh, During this time, my professional designation has pretty much been as monitoring and evaluation officer. I'm still working as monitoring, evaluation, and learning officer, but during this time, I have served with 5 and 6 different organizations. During the first 4.5 years of my professional experiences, uh, my job descriptions and responsibilities were very much focused on monitoring, quality assurance, and compliance and activities like this. And the focus was more like in inputs, activities, processes, and output levels. I never get a chance to test what evaluation looked like during this period, even though I was very curious to learn about it, but uh, somehow I didn't get to learn more, or because I didn't get to involve much in evaluation activities. During this time, if you would ask me what evaluation is, then I would say no idea beyond knowing the basic definition or what are the basic criteria they use in evaluation, and they're not much from practical point of view, like more like while preparing for some job interviews and things like this. And now looking back and reflecting on my experiences, that why actually it happened, even though evaluation has been very much part of my professional designation with monitoring, why I didn't get to work in evaluation. And I could make sense of some of the reasons now. The first one being that evaluation was not really part of the projects in which I was working. So there was no evaluation in the project plan. Then you are not going to get to know, what evaluation actually is, or how it is linked to the project cycle. In addition, for some of the projects where evaluation was an activity, but it was supposed to be done by external consultants. And as a young officer, I didn't get the opportunity to even interact with those consultants. In addition, there were no proper kind of capacity building opportunities or training opportunities where you will get to know more about the field in which you are working. And on the job training, very much focus on the task on hand, what kind of tools you have to use, what kind of checklists you should take to the field, and what kind of monitoring data you have to collect and put it into report. In addition, now I feel like there was not much incentive to do self-learning as well, because if you are not going to understand the utility of the knowledge, then you would not spend time learning on it, because it's not going to be useful for you. However, this situation changed in 2016 when I got an opportunity to work with my current organization, Mekong Institute, as monitoring, evaluation, and learning officer. When I accepted the job to move from Pakistan to Thailand, I had pretty much the same expectations that I would be doing the very basic monitoring activities as I have been doing before. But during the first few weeks of my work, I got to know that no, it's not like this. Maybe I will be doing more of an evaluation work. And to some extent, I was worried about the work as well, because it was new. I had not done an evaluation before. And I found out that the organization had been implementing some project for agricultural value chain development in some of the countries here, including Myanmar, Vietnam, and Laos, focusing on increasing the agricultural income of the farmers, their productivity, and as well as the profit of agricultural SMEs. Uh, and every year, the project would do some kind of seasonal assessments to see what has been the project contribution to increase the income of farmers and as well as the profit of SMEs. And by the time I joined, the seasonal assessment had already been conducted. Like this, actually the data had been collected, and I was actually asked to do, to review the data, to analyze the data, and as well as to present the report. For me, it was kind of challenging activity because first is like I joined this internal evaluation. Basically, it was in the middle of the activity, and I had not only to know about the evaluation, but as well as the context of the project, which had been going on for the last 2 years. The second big challenge which I faced was the expectation of my supervisor, who was kind of expecting me to contribute as a full-time professional because I had not been hired as a trainee. And the third challenge which I would see is that it was also my probation period. You know, I had to do other tasks in addition to this evaluation work, and to secure my long-term employment with the organization. But with the support and guidance of my supervisor, I was able to complete this task, which included verification of the data, and validating the data, data cleaning and analysis, presenting and interpreting the findings, uh, and to large extent, you know, it was a satisfactory work, I would say. And the next round of seasonal assessment was around the corner. Over the next few months, we were going to the field again, and this time I got an opportunity to get involved in the work from the very beginning, which included designing the methodologies, developing the survey tools, interview questionnaires, hiring the data collectors, the sampling methodology, and going to the field, training the data collectors, supervising the data collection process, and again going through review, cleaning, analysis, and uh, representing the findings, and reporting the findings. As much as challenging this first experience was for me, I would say it was also a great deal of learning experience, especially because I got a lot of uh, useful insight into evaluation work. Previously, I was thinking that monitoring work is more like not very technical, and maybe it's not the kind of field I would be working for a long time in future. So that was like one of the feeling I had before. But for me, through this experience, I got a sense of direction, that okay, this is where I would really like to work in future. Like, it's a different world. There's a lot to explore here. It's not the basic work which everyone would be able to do, on their own, which I had the feeling about monitoring and these kind of activities. Uh, and secondly, it was also a reality check for me because I got to know where I stood at that point, as a young professional, and what exactly I need to do if I have to establish my career in professional evaluation. More importantly, I was highly motivated to learn, and I was looking for a lot of opportunities to enhance my capacity. But as the situation is, like, you are not going to get access to training opportunities due to lack of resources, due to lack of time and everything. So I found a number of online courses. I would like to mention a few, like in edX platform, I attended this course on evaluating social programs by JPAL, which was highly enriching. I found a number of resources in websites like Better Evaluation, Intrac, uh, and few other resources. Like the resources were there before, but I didn't know whether to use them or not, and what would be the utility of the knowledge, if I'm not going to know the importance of it. Another factor I would like to share is that during this time, we also got hired an external consultant to conduct the review of the strategic plan of the organization. And I got to work very closely with him actually from the very beginning, as we were also somehow monitoring his work, but for me, it was more like a learning experience. And I got to learn how external evaluation activities actually work. And it was a great deal of learning experience. In addition, last year in 2019, I got an opportunity to attend a training on evaluating and managing for sustainable development impact in Wahanigan Center of Development Innovation. So that was another, I would say, stepping stone for my career in professional evaluation, where I learned about the especially focused on qualitative approaches to evaluation and the complexity aware evaluation approaches, where before working in quantitative evaluation approaches, I had the feeling of the gold standard, the RCT being the gold standard, but somehow through this training, I got to learn about the other approaches as well. And last but not the least, like working with the professional evaluation groups has been a great deal of learning experience as well. It's not only networking, but you get to know about different learning and career opportunities as well. And based on all these factors over the next 2 years, I got an opportunity to not only be involved in internal evaluations within the organizations, but encouraged by the executive director of our organization who somehow believed in our professional competencies. We were able to take some external evaluation activities as well. In beginning of last year, we conducted an evaluation of a regional project being conducted in 8 countries of ASEAN. And this year we completed another project being implemented in Palestine by Thailand International Cooperation Agency and as well as the Japan International Cooperation Agency. And at the same time, we are also working on 2 other external evaluations, which somehow we have stopped because of the current COVID situation. So that is all from me for the time being. Like I tried to touch all these different factors, but hopefully we will come back for more discussion later on. And I will also like to share some recommendations maybe later on during the discussion. So thank you. That's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Nazir. There's a question here, Marcia de Jesus. Can you please share more info on monitor NNE for SDI? Is this or SDG? Is that training, Marcia, you are referring to the E and M for SDI? The training, yeah.
You would like me to respond now, or we are coming back to the discussion later on?
Well, as there's just this question, I think you should, and we are good on track. You could answer this, and then we call
right.
the next presentation.
Right. So the managing, actually, this training is offered by through the Netherlands Orange Knowledge Fellowship Program in Wageningen University and Research. So the center which offers this training is called Wageningen Center for Development Innovation. So it's a very important course. I am not sure, it's offered every year. It's a 3 weeks course, and you get to go through the complete process of work in the development sector, but as well as a lot of focus on evaluation activities and as well as the competencies which are required for working in development sector, as well as in evaluation, including strategic thinking, design thinking, and communication skills and things like this. I would suggest you visit the website maybe for the Orange Knowledge Program, which is like the scholarship program from the government of Netherlands, and you will be able to find more information there.
Good, thank you. So you can now stop sharing, and I will open Egidia's presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think
is my time?
Just a moment. You're gonna present, right?
No, no, no. I shared with you. You're going to present it. I shared it. I shared my presentation
On WhatsApp group?
on WhatsApp, even via email. But let me just see if I can find it.
Oh yeah. Just a moment, people. That's it.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all right.
This one slide, right?
Sorry?
This is the just one slide, right?
Just that's right.
Okay. Can you see my screen or not?
Nope.
No?
I can see the screen, but the screen has our pictures and so on.
Okay. Okay, I will present you. So, Egidio Simbini is a project coordinator and monitoring and results manager at ILO project Mos Trabalha. He has more than 5 years of experience in designing, monitoring, and evaluation youth programs for the National Directorate of Youth Affairs. He's a member of ILO Monitoring and Evaluation Network in Africa and an evaluation manager. Okay, go ahead, Egidio. Welcome.
Hey, thank you so much, Marcia and other colleagues. And I'm very excited to share my experience, and mainly after what Nasser has shared with us. So it's quite challenging. He opened the doors for me, so probably my time is going to be shortened that what I've given. I chose, first of all, I chose this slideshow because it represents exactly what is the stage that I am in terms of monitoring and evaluation. I'm sort of a drop in the ocean, and the evaluation realm is very big. I still have a lot to learn. That's why I'm engaged in this presentation and share my experience here. And also, this also represents also the stage of the evaluation in Mozambique. It started ago, but now it starts to gain its momentum, and is growing. So that's why this image is very powerful. As you shared in my bio, I started working in Ministry of Youth and Sport, particularly the department at the National Directorate of Youth Affairs. There, I was designing policies, youth policies, and as part of this package, I had to be involved in monitoring these programs. So this was the first window for me to understand a little bit more what is evaluation and what is monitoring and evaluation, and how young people need to be involved in this process. Because one of the main things that we have in Mozambique, as you may know, in Mozambique, almost 40% of the population is comprised by young people. So our population is young, and they need to be involved in this process of developing the country, and where monitoring and evaluation have a good impact or influence in this process of developing the country, because we use the result of these evaluations to influence policy. And Nazir talked about the utility of knowledge. So for us, if you produce a lot of knowledge in the process of monitoring and evaluation, particularly in evaluation, and you don't influence policy, you're not being effective. You're just ticking the box, as I said. The evaluation process is just a process in the project cycle, and you're just ticking the box, but you're not influencing. For me, the point of having young people to get involved in evaluation is because of this. What was the main problem, the main challenge that I faced? I'm trying to go directly to the point. What is the main challenge that I faced while I was working in the government part? I mean, doing evaluation for this big department. Basically was that, I mean, we used to do evaluation without following the proper methods or without following a specific approach, okay? And by doing that, we were not being able to inform the people, and sometimes the results are used to be biased. So what we learned and what we learned during the process, we start including young people. We were implementing projects for them. We were monitoring projects related to them. And as the image show, in the youth context, the youth, I mean, the practice and the culture is well influenced by the context. I mean, they have a both way, can I say, flux of influence. They influence the context, and they are influenced by the process. So by including young people in the process of evaluation, we noted that we were able to have more people first reading to our report in terms of evaluation. We are able to involve more people, not only in the process of evaluating our project, but more people having interest in our projects, but also we have more people having being interesting to following the evaluation path. So by including young people, we could give training to them, we could mentor them, and we had an impact that a lot of the policies that were applied for young people, they were being, I mean, copied. So for us, this was one of the take one of the learning that we had by including young people in the process of evaluation. Now in the ILO, also we have now, as I'm part of the ILO, we have a good system of monitoring evaluation, following all the steps, which is very good, very good. But sometimes we still feel that there is a challenge to involve young evaluators in this process. Particularly here in Mozambique, why do I say that? You asked us to speak a little bit more about the challenge that young people have faced, and I'm trying to touch in this. We really want young people to get involved in the evaluation as evaluators, but also as part of the process, because they learn from this process. But what is the main problem that we face? What are the challenges to have more young people, more young evaluators to get involved in this process, to be, for instance, the principal evaluators? First of all, is experience. When all the organizations, when they launch an evaluation, when they want to do evaluation, the first thing that they ask is sometimes is 4 years of experience. This is very challenging for someone who's beginning, who's starting. It's quite impossible to find someone I mean, in Mozambique, for instance, a young person is someone from ranged from 15 to 35 years old. It's quite difficult to find someone who is around this age that has a really good experience in terms of evaluation. So this is the first challenge that we face, and that's why it's quite difficult to have more young evaluators in the process. The second thing is exposure. Okay, many times, okay, we have a good evaluators, we have a good, very professional people, but they don't bring along young people. For us, this is very pivotal. Not only to have, I mean, sometimes we said, for us, for you to understand, I'm talking specific because I'm more used to youth programs. If you want to understand and you want to change young people's life, you have to understand how they live, their culture, and you have to involve them so that you can change it. The same thing happens with evaluation. You have to involve, you have to bring along these young people. When, for instance, we have an independent evaluator that is doing a specific evaluation, not only in youth projects, we have to try to do the best to bring young people there so that they can learn, they can learn, and the knowledge can be shared from, for instance, as it is common for an older man or a more experienced person to a young man. The second thing is mentorship, which is more related to what I spoke before. We need to have programs that mentor young people. So that is very pivotal to have young people involved in this process. And we are very lucky in Mozambique at this moment. As I said, the process of evaluation started with sort of as a drop in the ocean, and also the involvement of young people started the same way. But now in Mozambique, we are in the process of formalizing the National Association of Monitoring and Evaluation, which is very good. One of the main things that has been put in table is to get more young evaluators involved in this process. So for me, this is what I've been sort of campaigning, to have more young people in the process of evaluating and try to reduce the challenge or the barriers that they face in having young people in the process of evaluation. So in a nutshell, for me, it's very important so that we reduce the time that we require for young people in terms of experience for them to get, how can I say, I know that there is the problem of quality in this process, but first of all, we have to make sure that the barrier of years of experience is somehow eased. And
yeah, I remember asking.
And the second one, we have to expose young people.
I don't remember asking.
Oh my gosh.
And the third thing is probably we should embrace and have more mentorship programs that so that young people can gain experience and learn from those who are very experienced in the evaluation realm. So in a nutshell, these are some thoughts that I would like to share with you in terms of what's actually the situation in Mozambique. So thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw there something happened. Someone who was not in the meeting, so like started sharing images, and I can see him, but I changed the option of sharing, so I will share. Oh, yeah. Egidio, thank you so much. It was so rich to listen to you. I was a little bit distracted for this thing that happened here. But yeah, so I don't think there are questions right now. So I will call the next presentation, Anu Nopi, project manager at CAED and preparing a PhD in anthropology since 2016.
Hello.
Hello. Can you
No
hear
sound.
us?
I'm not getting what you are saying.
What? Anu?
I'm not getting you. I'm seeing you, but I'm not getting you.
You cannot hear me? No? Can you hear me, Anu? Can you hear me, Anu? Maybe he has connection problems. Anu, can you hear me? No, you can't hear me. Can you try to use your headphones? Carlos, I see your message. You think the problem is with the computer? You are not hearing? Please, everybody, give a thumbs up for me if you are hearing me, everybody.
I can hear Marcia. I can hear you, not him.
Anu, say something, please. You are mute. Oh no, you are not mute.
Hello to everyone. Thank you, Marcia, for your kind introduction.
I didn't finish.
Hello to
I was
everybody.
worried about you.
I am Arnos Mwafo. If you can hear me, I can continue. Waiting that the sound should come back. Are you getting me, Marcia? Just hold your head. Means that you are getting me. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So, hello to everybody. I am Arnos Mwafo from Cameroon. What I want to share with you is entitled Becoming a Professional Evaluator, a Journey into Contextual Reality for Young and Emerging People, evaluator in Cameroon. So I am coordinator of young and emerging evaluators in RFEFIFI. And in my VOP, I am also a member of the board. So the experience that I'm going to share today is a set of action that the young and emerging evaluators of Cameroon have carried out since late 2015 and early 2016. In reality, we are almost ignorant of what is called evaluation as a profession. So we already knew about the concept with farmers and medical professionals, although there was already the national VOP as is hosted Africa 2014. So thanks to the RFEFI, we, an eval partner, we mobilize young evaluators from training school and around the issue, around the concept of evaluation. And we started by identifying senior evaluator for coaching session and placement of young YEEs in internship. We also organize a networking and capacity building session in various areas. The objective was to mobilize all the evaluators before taking action. And in 2016, 2017, we are the oven and the mind of the realization of the evaluation inventory in Cameroon, the baseline study, I mean, and in Cameroon, and the major condition for the sponsor was to involve as much as possible YEEs in the different phase of the mission. And at the end, that was to be said, the level of our train was nothing else than availability and voluntary work, which made the work satisfactory. Thus, in 2018, 2019, always with the desire to learn, we 5 YEEs joined the both executive and personally. Each one could be copied to or solicit to the realization of certain consulting mission, notably with the UNICEF, with even Evaluate and other association of nurse and midwife and other private sector that was in need of the competency, whether in data management, data analysis, and data collection. So we nevertheless encounter difficulty related to the management of work, like work pressure. So the pressure was sometimes not easy to manage because the delivery was to give in a precise day. So the unavailability of senior, we sometimes need senior, but they wasn't even available to hear us. But it was like that. So the matching of evaluation criteria, which even the benchmarking, but at the end, we realized that we learned thanks to them. We learned because we went to the field. We learned because we did e-learning, and that's why we recommend YEEs to train more and update themselves on the evaluation tools and to do some voluntary job. So that is all the main thing I wanted to share with other YEEs today. And as I hope you are getting me very well. I just make a resume, an abstract of what I wanted to say. So thank you very much to all.
Thank you so much.
But if there is question, you can write, and I can answer the question by writing.
Thank you. I can't see any questions here. People are thanking your presentation and congratulating you for your great job. And so now it's Chilean time. So Javier Araneda, sorry, is an emerging evaluator from Chile, sociologist. He worked as advisor in an evaluation team in a collaboration project between FOSEVAL and Techo, sorry. Currently, he voluntarily helps entrepreneurs and foundations to apply for social projects in need of state funding. Okay, I have your presentation here. Now only me can share. So, welcome, Javier, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, I want to give me just a second.
Do you admit the second one?
No, that's,
It's okay?
yeah, that's right. Thanks. So thanks to I want to I want to start to say to thanks to my college and all the people who are listening to us. And thank you all very much for this possibility to be here with you. Um, just like Marcy says, my name is Javier Araneda. I'm sociologist. I'm a brown father and a young and emerging evaluator of 26 years old. Um, I want to start saying that in these days in Chile, there are very few spaces for training in evaluation social projects. Even when it is possible to find a course, seminary, or maybe a master in evaluation, um, this is approached from economics and business schools with an orientation related more to the finance and business evaluations than to the evaluating of the social projects from all its dimensions. Um, with this in mind, I began to relate to the evaluations thanks to Evaluate Chile, where my interest and this area led me to participate in some activities and meetings that allowed me to create a personal network of professionals who were involved with this area. Um, I have also been able to meet and work in evaluation thanks to the effort of university professors like Claudio Lavarria, who is my mentor, and I appreciate so much Andrea Peroni, Carolina Guerra, Valentina Terra, and all those professors who for years made the effort to offer the opportunity for a project-based learning, where NGOs, academics, and students were connected to have at least one approach to the practical exercise of planning and evaluation of social projects. This methodology, years later, will be called Eval Conectados. Thanks to this support network made up of volunteers, academics, and professionals, I began to work on a cooperation project between uh, Poseval, Deval, and Techo and Servicio País. My job was to support the design and execution of an evaluations process of Techo's main intervention tool that is called work table. This was in Santa Teresa, uh, that is a camp that is considered like a successful case of the for the progress and the achievements in the territory of Latin America. Um, I want to say when I say that we evaluate the work table, this doesn't mean that we evaluate an static object or instance, because for evaluate this evaluation tool, we have to evaluate his own tools of intervention, his progress in the camp, the beneficiary progress that the chains make it for the intervention, the team that makes it up, so much emergent and additional elements, just like in all the evaluations, I think. Okay, my experience with Techo and Fosseval, the experience start with the coordination and training by Fosseval and Deval to prepare me and to optimize the time, this training was by web, just like now. Doesn't was a class, was a conversation to introduce me in the Deval Foseval approach, and where they offered me his help in case that I need or reinforce my knowledge. Um, then we made a training to the workings of the NGOs, um, and this training was made by an experiment evaluator. But me and another GEE, sorry, um, were in charge of an introductory training of the concept of evaluation. This is important because this class where I and another GEE was in charge, this could be simple, but it's so significant for the GEEs like me, and it's a good instance to put in practice our own capacities. Yeah. Well, the capacitation of the working last a week, and me and the other GEE separate. He worked with Servicio País, and I work with Techo. Um, when the work with Techo started, we want to use a participatory approach, and this was so much important because from the beginning we planned and designed the evaluation and his data collections tools with the beneficiaries to make the evaluation with them. In all instances, including in the training given by Foseval, Techo includes the representative of beneficiaries. This helps to work with with the creativity and involve us in all the steps of the process. Um, but I want to say that beyond the work, the most valuable part of the experience was to realize that there were countries where the figure of the young and emerging evaluator was already seen as an important part of the project. Um, this job was my first work experience, but it was also a place of learning and where possible labor policies allowed to enter the world of work under the logic of support and accompaniment. This is lack in Chile now. Also, this work allowed the incorporation of GEEs with less experience because it offered not only a job opportunity, but constant accompaniment and support during the process. Just to finish my presentation, I want to say that I believe that my love for the evaluation experience is due to the fact that I obtained exactly what is needed in Chile: a job and educational opportunity accompanied and supported by an institution with the capacity to receive and guide GEEs in training. This is why I believe that at Lost in Chile, in order to achieve the incorporation of GEEs into professional evaluation, I think that it's necessary to promote training space through the network of evaluators. Maybe I believe that maybe in instance allows us to learn with a high impact of GEEs that have a lack and academic offer. And for this, the development of organizations like EvalYouth and your organizations of your works is so much important. It's extremely important. Um, just that.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. I don't know if you have questions. I have to stop share to see. Not very good. So someone has a question. I have a question for all presenters. How can we improve cross collaboration and knowledge sharing among national, regional, and global EvalYouth chapters? What should be shared and how can EvalYouth Global do to help chapters? Josette, I think this is a great question for our discussion. I propose that we now hear the Brazilian group, and then we can maybe put this question for discussion. Do you agree? Okay. Okay. So now I'm gonna present the Brazilian group. They are going to present a case of youth group inclusion in a real project, evaluation project. So Jasmine Madueño, she's a bachelor in international relations. She has been involved with the Brazilian monitoring and evaluation work, being responsible for the creation of the Brazilian youth group. Currently, she works in the National Confederation of Municipalities of Brazil and is pursuing a master in evaluation at DeVal, right? DeVal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jessica is not here, but she's a social scientist. She has evaluated 2 public policies of nutritional security in Brazil. She was awarded a Canadian government scholarship. She's current secretary of EvalYouth. She also takes part of the Brazilian Monitoring and Evaluation Network and EvalYouth Latin America. It's a shame that Jessica is not with us today. She's not feeling well. And we have also Diego Rodriguez. He's economist with a master's in applied economics. He has worked with monitoring and evaluation for about 5 years, particularly with quantitative methods and impact evaluation. He has been an individual consultant, recently working for the IPC IG UNDP, and also lecturer in public management. So, okay, boys. I also had your presentation here. Go ahead.
Marcia, can you hear me well?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
A little bit
Okay.
cutting, but
Good.
it's
Good.
cutting a little bit.
Okay.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
So, hello everyone. My name is Jasmine. I am from Brazil. I'm talking from Brasilia. Midday here now. It's interesting that we have really different time zones and different countries here. So this is really nice, international environment. And thank you to the colleagues that are sharing their experience with us. It's really interesting to hear the experiences and the challenges that the EEs have from all around the world. We are chasing those spaces, and it brings us hope to hear that there are spaces in different countries, but still we have to fight for them. So I will present quickly a successful case that we had here, and
Hey, Jazz, you disappeared. Your sound.
hello, hello,
Hello.
hello.
Now, yeah.
Yes,
now we
yes.
got it.
So I will present a case that brought us a lot of new opportunities that opened doors for new professionals and In Brazil, our national VOP, that is VOP is Voluntary Organization for Professional Evaluation. So in Brazil, our national VOP is the Brazilian Monitoring and Evaluation Network. This VOP has more than 10 years, but only last year in 2019, we created the youth group, which I am coordinating now. And so it was a way to articulate and bring together those evaluators, those new evaluators that were spread around Brazil. So the participants of this group are from different parts of Brazil, and we interact mainly online. So in this group appeared a call for a proposal from a Brazilian foundation on early childhood. And so 6 young professionals from the youth group manifested an interest in participate in writing a proposal. And Marcia, that is our facilitator here, she proposed us to create a team. And this was really, really important because we could write a proposal in name of Marcia's enterprise, that it's Lazuli Consultants, because if we were doing this on our own, we wouldn't have the institutional approach behind us to win this proposal. So we started to study the term of reference together, and we wrote a proposal, and we won. And so we were hired by the Lazuli Consultants as juniors evaluators. So how was this process? Our team was composed by Marcia as the coordinator of the team and 2 other senior evaluators and 6 young evaluators. And between them, it's me, Diego, that will present after me, and Jessica, Alice, that is watching us, Mila, and Verena. And so that was our structure. And this configuration was really interesting because we had different levels of experience between those youth, and we felt secure because we had the seniors guiding us. And it was like a mentoring program, but for real, we were really doing an evaluation, and we would have to deliver a product. So it's also important it was really important for our learning, the space that we had to contribute during this process. Everybody participated in every step of the evaluation process. For example, developing the theory of change. Some of us didn't know how to do it, and it was the first contact with a theory of change. We also developed the evaluation questions, the data collection instruments. We had the chance to conduct online interviews, and some of us did field work also, and face-to-face interviews. We did the data organization. We used the software MaxQDA, and we did the data analysis, and also we helped on writing the report. So we discussed a lot about our impressions during the whole process, and this made the whole analysis very rich. Another aspect is that this job happened all online, since each of us was in a different city in Brazil and Marcia in the US. And we had face-to-face interactions only at the fieldwork and in the final report presentation, where some of us could attend. And this online interaction happened through Zoom platform and WhatsApp, and it worked really well. This evaluation process happened before COVID. So because now online things, everything is happening online, but at that moment it was something kind of new, and that we didn't know if it would work completely online, but it was perfect. And a quick overview of the evaluation object. we were evaluating a program on public policies implementation focused on developing and scaling up programs and service for young children in 7 municipalities in Brazil. It is a huge program, and that took around 1 year, and the program. The evaluation took around 6 months. It was a final evaluation of the program, and it had a really important role in giving information for the foundation if they would continue or not with the program and how they could improve for a new edition. About the methodology, the data collection methods was basically document analysis and interviews, with a first round online and in a second moment face-to-face interviews in 3 of the 7 municipalities. It was mainly a qualitative evaluation based on the CIPP model, that is an approach of Stuffelbein. And we focus mainly in inputs, process, and products of this program. And that's the main aspect of the evaluation. And I will pass now to Diego, that will talk more about how this experience was important for us as young evaluators and this new perspective. The audio is not working?
So just this final phrase we didn't hear much, but I heard that you're calling Diego to present the second.
Okay, so I will pass now to Diego, and he will explain a little bit how this opportunity was important for us as young evaluators.
Thank you, Jasmine. Diego, your turn.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to share this experience with you. I have seen already that many things I'm going to say here, they are very similar to what the other presenter said before. What's nice, because I've seen that we have similar concerns and demands and points in common. So basically what I'm going to focus on here is on how these projects was important for us as young evaluators. And firstly, to say some few words about what we have learned. As Jasmine said, we were part of the whole process of evaluation, and that was extremely important. We were not only part of one single aspect of the process, so we could follow the whole process since the beginning to the end, since the application to the project until the writing of the final reports. So we could learn with every single aspect of the project. And this was extremely important for us as young evaluators to have this close contact with the whole project. It was very important for us also to learn new methods. This is especially important for me because, as Marcia said in the beginning, I am a quantitative person, and I had the contact now with a qualitative research. So some of us, we had to be open to new methodologies, and this was extremely important. I feel personally now much more as an evaluator, because now I have much more contact with different methods. And I think that a similar thing happened with my colleagues. We could learn the importance of being in close contact with policymakers and the beneficiaries. We could do field visits, field work also. So to learn with the policymakers, with the beneficiaries was very important, to listen to them, to hear their concerns, their struggles. That was extremely, extremely important. And also, as Jasmine said, we learned that it was possible to work by distance. We were a group of people from different parts of the country. Some of them I have never met before. Some of them I have not met yet. But we still can work, and we could do, I think, a good job. It was very interesting And so it's extremely important because now we are living this situation, and yes, we can work by distance. We are doing this webinar here. So it's absolutely possible. The distance cannot be an excuse to not do evaluation, because for us it was absolutely possible. It was very important for us also because it affected us somehow. I would say that the main aspects, the main way that this project affected us was improving our motivation. I think it's in our group, it's very clear that we are all very motivated now to stay in the field of evaluation. So it was extremely important. I would add that it was even, we had even empowerment with this project. We feel more confident now to do evaluation, and that was extremely important. And we stay together. So we kept our group. We are still in contact. We are applying to different projects now. We created a friendship. So now we are still a group. We stay together, and that was a very, very important consequence of this project. So now we are much more motivated, we are empowered, and we are together applying to different projects, etc. About what can be improved or could have been improved, I don't have any specific thing to say about what could have been improved. I just would like to say, and it goes in accordance to what was said before, also that it would be nice to have more projects like this. We are aware that that was a unique experience that me, Jasmine, Jessica, and our colleagues, we were privileged to be in this project, to have this whole experience. And it would be very nice for us, young evaluators, to have more projects like this, where young evaluators, they are very connected to the projects and they are able to be part of the whole project, etc. This is extremely important. Apart from being young evaluators, and we had played an important role in the whole process, I also think it's important to say, to emphasize the importance of having contact with senior evaluators. That was also a very important aspect of this project. We as young evaluators, we need mentoring, we need mentorship. So this close contact we had with Marcia and the other senior evaluators was extremely important. The best way to learn is to be close to people with people who know more than us. So this close contact and the freedom we had to approach Marcia and the other senior evaluators was extremely, extremely important. And it goes very in accordance to what was said before, that it's important to open the doors to young evaluators, because in this way, this is probably the only way we have to learn. So that was a unique experience. I would like to have more projects like this. I'd like to advocate for this kind of projects because it was very, very important. And about the future, and then finishing with a kind of final message, I think it's important for us to take the initiative. As young evaluators, to do evaluation, there is no other way to learn than put in practice the theory. Of course, that the theory is important, but we have to do evaluation. Evaluation is a practical thing. So it's very important for us, young evaluators, to take the initiative. And I just would like to say that let's not wait for perfection or for experience, because I think that we have learned with this project that perfectionism does not exist in evaluation. We are always learning and improving, and it happens all the time. So let's not wait for this, because this probably will not happen. So sometimes we decide to wait, and okay, firstly, I'm going to study a lot, I'm going to become a great evaluator, and then I'm going to do evaluation. And this probably will not work. So let's do evaluation right now. As it was said before, we are a drop in the ocean, but we are still part of the ocean. So we are part of this. It's important also for the evaluation agenda that young people are involved, as was mentioned before. So let's do it. Let's not wait for experience. Let's not wait for perfection. Let's do evaluation. This is the best way to learn, and we are here for this. So this experience was extremely important for us as young evaluators, and I'm very happy to share it with you. And I think that's it. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Diego. There is another question here. So people asking for the links. Yes, we're gonna share the link. We're gonna share the recording. Clear will share the recording, but we will also share in our Brazilian network. It's open, everybody can access. And Marcia is saying here, is asking, so how do you, it's a question for me. How do you recommend experienced professionals changing fields to find mentors? Oftentimes opportunities seem to be available more easily for young professionals. I don't know, I'm not really sure about it. So I think that if you are an experienced professional and you are intending to change field to become an evaluator, you are considered an emerging evaluator too. It's not about age, it's about time of experience. And what I recommend is that you approach the VOP. I don't know where you're from, Marcia. You approach your VOP. So you start to accessing training according to your possibilities, and also that you look for more experienced people and try to be included in a work. Because so this experience with the youth group for me was very remarkable. I strongly believe that evaluation has of course has a training component, but you only learn when you are involved in a real case, and this is very important. So, and when I started evaluation, so I was lucky to find people that helped me to understand and worked with me like mentors, peer mentors. Okay, so it's 8:20 for me. So it's now 1 hour and 20 minutes. We have 40 minutes still for discussion. I will be happy to open the floor for you. I think we have a good question here put before by Josette. So one thing is, so what is behind this discussion is how can we improve, how can we overcome these barriers? So there, you mentioned training, you mentioned project-based learning, you mentioned mentorship, and now Josette comes with the idea of cross-collaboration. I think that a network environment is so very good for it. So maybe we can make some new idea raise here regarding cross collaboration. I like this idea, and knowledge sharing. I think yes, this is one of our main goals in Brazilian network: share knowledge. So I'm open the floor. Who want to discuss this?
Yes, can I say something?
Yes, sure.
I think there is no other way than having opportunities. Like where I think Egidio mentioned something about this, that sometimes the projects, they require 4 years of experience or 10 years of experience. Sometimes this is absolutely impossible. There is a barrier that we cannot cross because we don't have the time of experience. So it's very important, like to be conscious that we need to allow young people, you know, and that was to join the evaluation agenda, the evaluation projects. You know, I think that one of the most important aspects of this project that Jasmine and I presented is that we had the chance a chance that probably we will never have if the project was not, if our evaluation project was not constructed in this way. So there is no, I think there is no other way to deal with the situation than simply allowing young evaluators to join the projects and let them work. Because if we need experience to work, and to work we need experience, this is a barrier that we are not going to be able to cross. So I think that it's important to be conscious that doors must be open to young evaluators. And this has to be done in the practical way. It's not only about training, it's not only about courses, it's more than this, it's about experience. So we need opportunities, we need the projects, we need the senior evaluators to open the doors to young people, because this is the only way we have. It's a barrier we won't be able to cross alone. So I think that the senior evaluators, they also play an important role in this.
Just want to contribute a little bit more. I learned a lot from the experience, the Brazilian experience, because you had, as you said, both Diego and Yasmin, you had Marcia that could facilitate almost all the process. That is very important. I don't know how many independent evaluators are willing to sort of leave, I mean, the budget to allow, young people to learn. It's quite impossible if you don't have people that has this sort of mindset to know that, yes, I need first to include young people, not only because of I cannot do, but it's sort of transfer information, transfer knowledge, empower people. For me, this is one of the key words. It's sort of empowerment. And through experience to people who has a sort of open mind, are willing to open their organization to allow people to get in. This is a sort of powerful method or tool. And I think, as Jasmine did through the red Brasileira of evaluation, so probably we should take this example. For instance, in Mozambique, we can advocate so that, while the association is building up, they think about involving young people to learn and also to get this sort of practice while they develop these skills. So that's my contribution. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just to share my 2 cents about cross collaboration. I guess this event in itself is, one example of cross collaboration among the different EVAL youth chapters. We have people from Brazil, Cameroon, Mozambique, and as well as Chile. So I think it just takes some kind of will, to go out and reach out to other people, because through this webinar, at least we got to learn that most of our challenges and experiences have been very similar. It's great to see like people in other parts of the world, they're pretty much going through the same situation or sharing or experience the same sort of challenges. So I think we don't need to wait for others, what others going to do for us. Like we have to take an initiative maybe from our own evaluate chapter and maybe reach out to other people. But the global evaluate chapter can play important role in this regard. I think maybe coming up with some kind of a uniform agenda, and sharing it with all different evaluate chapters to follow it up and maybe organize events for knowledge sharing for cross collaboration or whatever it is. But see, if we have a uniform agenda, it's like we will be knowing that what everyone else is doing, and somehow based on our own context and experiences, everyone is going to contribute to that particular agenda. And I think we can grow together as a whole like this. At the moment, I'm not sure in most, some of the value chapters like in Thailand, we don't have any value chapter actually. And the VOPE, which was established like the Thailand Evaluation Network almost 10 years ago, when I learned about VOPES, I was really interested in being the part of Thailand Evaluation Network. I have been sending them emails for the last 2 years, but it looked like it's not functional anymore. So having the chapter in itself is, I guess in itself is a big opportunity. You have the platform, you are going to bring people together in that particular platform. But if you don't have this particular platform, then you are to some extent not having that equal opportunity as compared to other people, you know. So I think Eval Youth group as a whole, like the global Eval Youth group, can promote maybe the national and the regional chapters of Eval Youth, maybe in each country. And I was like, my basic suggestion was that this Eval Youth chapters maybe need to go to maybe more like the state or maybe city level, you know, because a lot of people who live in the backward areas, they're not going to get access maybe to the national Eval Youth chapter, which normally have some kind of I'm not sure if they have membership caps or something like that. Well, that's my, that was just my opinion, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking here about this cross collaboration between EvalYouth chapters, and I think somehow this webinar it's a little bit of this, because each of us here are part of our national chapters. Of course, I think institutionally would be nice if EvalYouth chapters may make webinars like this, where we could share experiences, and not that they don't do, I think it happens constantly. But this is an initiative that we just sent an email to EvalYouth group, and who answered back, we invited to share experiences, and I think it's a first step. In specifically about the Brazilian case, we have an advantage that it's the support from our Brazilian VOP. And this is really important for those who want to start. It's if there is this openness from the national VOP to support the youth, it's a great beginning. I think that the opportunity that we had was unique, where one consultant firm chose to bring us together and to give us this opportunity. And but it's important to make it clear that we as young evaluators, we have a lot to contribute, not only for not asking for really high payments, but from new ideas, from information about technology, and for bringing our point of view for the evaluation. Also, we felt really motivated because we were having that opportunity. So I'm sure that we worked way more than we would have to, and really happy for doing this, because we were learning. We would spend nights studying and learning about the project and investigating. It was like it was a really positive and nice process for everybody. So we got really motivated. And I think through what we can do now here in Brazil, considering that we have this support from the national VOP, is start an advocacy process where the national VOP, like a campaign, could be a campaign, let's say, so that firms and also the clients who are demanding the evaluations value EEs included in the evaluation. So who are demanding, normally UN agencies, for example, that they are aware of the importance of young and emergent evaluators and our inclusion, they could put in their TDRs, in their term of reference, that they prefer if there is the inclusion of a young evaluator in the evaluation team. So this is from one side. And the other side is to advocate with the firms, with the consultant firms, with the evaluators, the senior evaluators. And still there is the side, our side, that we have to conquer this space. Now, we have here good examples, But we know that this doesn't exist for everybody and is not easy to find. It's not clear. Everybody asks, how can I start in an evaluation pathway? Where are those opportunities? So we as young evaluators, we have to organize ourselves and to ask for this space. I don't think it will happen if we don't ask. So, well, that's something that I was thinking here. And I think EvalYouth has an important role in this whole process also. If you don't have a strong national vote, maybe you can try through the EvalYouth national chapter. So in the end, it's all a matter of organization. We have to organize ourselves to advocate for this.
Yeah. I I want to answer to you said that I think that is you said Arevalo from Ecuador, but I'm not sure. But anyway, sorry, I lost the question. Give me a second. Yeah. Um, I think that how can improve the collaboration cross between the national, regional, and global network, and how can evaluate global help to the captors? Is a big preoccupation for me, because just like I said in my presentation, in Chile are few spaces to learn about evaluation, right? The evaluators, we are now learning about space just like this, just like to know others' experiences and to get a little project to evaluate, but and then meet other evaluators. But for that, I think that to increase the organizations, the VOCs, their regional chapters is so much important. In the case of Chile, our discipline of evaluation is just a baby capture of the global capture. We are just starting in that. And I think that generate space of training, a space of learning in evaluations that could that could generate jobs opportunities where our knowledge and our capacities could be tasted and say, and the employer says you know what, the GAs have the capacity to form part of that, and says now our organization Evalue Chile is not active today because we have different problems. The coordination is just like in a standby, but I think that the best way for Evalue Chile now is to get meeting with teams like yours and get some ideas. We could make this. Probably we could be a webinar with other experiences and take some tips. How can we reinforce our organization and make to increase it? But I think that if I have to get some help of Evaluate Network, global or regional chapters, I think we need more spaces for training, more space for be part of regional evaluations, like that. We need more spaces for everything. We now I want to comment with you. We now with two more college of Chile, we are trying to systematize and the major webinar experience to later contact them and say, how can you give help to know what to do in Chile?
Anybody else would like to say something? You participants, I can't see you. Come on, people, don't be ashamed.
Well, can I say a few more things? Yeah, just hello.
Hello, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to, so I just wanted to react to what Jasmine was sharing. Like, we have to be, I agree with most of her points. We have to be willing to learn and be ready to avail the opportunities whenever they present themselves. And I think that's one thing like we as young people can do. We always be ready to take the most of the opportunities whenever they present themselves. And for my personal experiences, as I explained, initially when I didn't have the opportunity to work in evaluation, I was not really sure what would be important, what I should be learning. But that one opportunity served, uh, opened like a door of opportunities for me, and then I really understood what I need to learn more, and what kind of knowledge I need to learn. So that presents like, that having access to opportunities is the most important thing. But on the other hand, as young and emerging evaluators, we have to be ready to avail such opportunities whenever they present themselves. Secondly, uh, I think the importance of evaluation as a whole in general needs to be realized, not only for the UN agencies, but other development organizations and NGOs. It needs to be somehow mainstreamed as part of the project. Actually, a number of projects we still see that evaluation is not part of the project. Maybe there's not specific funding, or maybe there is no specific demand from the donor. But so if there are more evaluation activities, then definitely the young people are also going to get more opportunities to work and get involved in those evaluations. Thank you.
If the participants want to share something, you can talk, open your microphones, feel free, not only in the chat. I would like to share an training opportunity. I don't know if you are aware. I'll send the link here in the chat, but there are some training courses open by Eval partners, and they are free and they are happening, and so it's a good opportunity. And I think that for us, it's we have to be in the process of training and looking for opportunities, and it's all together. It's not only training or only opportunities. One thing depends on the other. You will get an opportunity if you have a little bit of training, and so one helps the other to enhance, to manifest. So yeah, we have to look for training.
Another opportunity is that IPDAT is offering scholarship for young people, right?
Yeah, I think 2 scholarships.
Yeah.
It's a kind of expensive program, but they are offering 2 scholarships, so it's an opportunity too.
I don't know if you have the link, Jasmine. So I would like to put a question for you all. Why did you choose Eval as your professional pathway? So why do you believe that this path will be rewarding? It's kind of a passion or ideology, or do you believe that is a promising field?
Javier, you want to say something?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't hear the question. We have a little connection problem. I don't hear the question.
I think the question was why have you become evaluators? Why did we move to this field, right?
Why do you believe it will be rewarding? Why do you believe is a good choice?
Okay, I have a background in economics, and so I didn't choose to become an evaluator. I have become an evaluator along the time when I realized I was doing evaluation without knowing that that was evaluation. So it was a long run process, and I think that what has driven me into this direction is, of course, the professional ambitions and things like this. I want to be a good evaluator and be recognized for this. I think everybody wants this. But also the feeling that we are doing something to change things, to change reality, and have this feeling that we are doing something that is really improving the situation of people around us, etc. I think so. It's a mix of reasons. It's partially, of course, there is the professional part of the evaluation, which is extremely important, and the qualifications, training, and everything that surrounds this aspect of the evaluation, which is extremely important, but also this feeling that we are doing something for the others, that we are changing reality, we are improving the situation of people, and that somehow we can interfere on the development agenda. I think this is extremely rewarding, and it's a mix of reasons. So yes, I've become an evaluator along the time. It was not an initial choice. I didn't know this field existed in the beginning. And when I realized I was doing evaluation, and I'm very happy in following this track, because this feeling of we are doing something important, we can interfere on the development agenda, is for me personally extremely important, so, and relevant. So I think that my choice was a mix of course, it was also a decision, but also a context and something that's more internal on myself. That's the wish that I think everybody has to do something relevant and which is able to improve people's lives.
Thank you. From my point of view, first of all, I would like to say sorry, because as I mentioned in the beginning, I'll have to leave earlier than expected.
And right now.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, but for me, it was more because I have this passion for research. I really like when we produce knowledge. But after that, we have seen nowadays, particularly here in Mozambique, there is a lot of push for evidence-based policies. So, I mean, whatever we want to do, we want to, that the decision that we're making must be based on information. So with evaluation, you produce this information. So it's good to be part of this process of producing and see people, consuming this information, and how this information is able to shape sort of big decisions and impact and make sort of impact in people's life. For us, this is more powerful. So that's why I think evaluation is very good. Okay, thank you.
I love to see your enthusiasm.
Yeah. Um, I think that I want to become an evaluator because one of my preoccupations when I was studying sociology was was that the public policies in Chile um, are is a disaster. And so we have so much public policies that don't have a good diagnostic of the reality that leads so much people in Chile. So there, I think that well, I can make research and generate new knowledge that will be for years in web or in a paper, or I could make evaluations and say to the government or the decisions takers, say, look, the evidence says that you don't have to do this, and maybe you could do in other way. Yeah. So I think that my my motivation to make this is the social justice. I think that is the principal motivation to get more experience and more space in this discipline.
I would like to add that I feel that the monitoring and evaluation field has a lot of space and lacks a lot of good professionals, and so there is a huge demand. So there is I see as a great opportunity, as a great professional opportunity, and of course there is a path to follow and to become a good professional. So we are here trying um, to open spaces for new professionals, but as long as we train, we study, we turn good professionals, we will have a lot of opportunities. This is thinking about the personal part, but thinking about the impact for the world, evaluation has a really important role. And for here in Brazil, for example, or now in the world, that it's really the evidence-based decisions are really important. This moment of coronavirus, so the public managers can take decisions on how to deal with the situation, and information, good information is really important to take those decisions. So evaluation helps on this. And so we have, as evaluators, an important role to contribute to the world. So that's what I think.
Well, for me, I have similar reasons. What Diego shared, having a background in economics and mathematics, and as well as statistics, I feel like evaluation is the field where I can use my knowledge and skills in much a better way than working in any other area of development sector. And secondly, it's something I like doing. For me, it's like even if it's work, I don't take it very much like work. I enjoy the whole process of going through all the different stages and steps of evaluation, and dealing with the people, dealing with the numbers. And it's also some kind of a sense of achievement you get. You are going to do some kind of work which is a bit different, and there's a lot of expectation as well that as an evaluator you are going to give something very useful to change the program or improve the projects So in that sense, it's also a bit of responsibility on the evaluators that uh, they really have a big role to play, in improving the programs and projects and ultimately improving the lives of the people. Uh, and secondly, as Jasmine shared, that I also believe there's a huge scope for qualified evaluation professionals. In the organizations I have been involved with, I have not come across so many people who I can say who are kind of expert or competent evaluators. Like I cannot say that, because most of them, they have been, you could not see a lot of people who have really been engaged in kind of professional evaluations other than some kind of external consultants, and then that's a different field. I believe that in addition to external consultants within organizations, there is a huge demand of internal evaluators, so that you don't have to depend too much on external consultants. Yes, like these are the reasons for me, and I feel like this is the field where I can actually continue working maybe for a very long time. And I also believe that there is like the field as a whole is growing in itself. A lot of new developments and trends are happening in the field of evaluation. Maybe a few years ago, I was not familiar with outcome harvesting and methodologies like this, and recently they have come up with other new approaches. So the field in itself is growing in response to what is happening all around the world. And I guess maybe in response to what the COVID-19 situation, maybe there will be some new approaches that will be emerging. So the field is like the field of evaluation, I think, is very much relevant to human life, and it's going to be relevant as long as we are we are living in this world. uh, and this what why I feel like I would be continuing to work in this field for a very long time. A few years ago, during the first 2 or 3 years of my experiences, maybe I was not very sure that I would continue to work, but at this stage I'm like, no, this is the field I want to work on. And even if I'm going to get better opportunities in some other sector, I would not be considering it.
Well, if I can share my experience, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Actually, I got interested in M&A because I was working in different NGOs and advocacy groups. So this was back in 2014, maybe, and it was starting. I think the discussion was starting to get a little bit serious in the nonprofit sector, because, well, there's always been this demand, that you could show that your project really worked and changed people's lives, right? So so I got so I started studying about it, and then in the next year, in 2015, I developed an internal uh, impact evaluation on this NGO that I used to work. And then I got really passionate about it, because uh, I think I always saw some social projects, not only in the nonprofit sector, but also in the public sector, and in different kinds of companies also, that really didn't change people's lives. And it was kind of I think there is still a long way to go in Brazil for projects not to be just for showing, that they can really show evidence on what they are changing and how could they do it better. So I guess my experience really drove me into that, really drove me into wanting to know exactly how much every action that we can do to change some policy is actually doing it, you know. So I guess I just have an experience kind of a little bit different from what I've been listening this week, because I didn't actually came from, I don't know, from the academy, from universities. I'm a social scientist, but I never did any kind of applied research, you know, until then. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. Jasmine, we can't hear you.
I was saying that you were muted.
And you were muted. Okay, so we are reaching our time. So I want to thank you so much for your presence, so for your participation. Thank Egidio, Nazir, Diego, Jasmine, for your, Javier also for your presentations and your discussion. Very rich. So let's keep in touch. Let's keep trying to collaborate. And so building this international initiative stronger. So I'm very excited to be here and to be with you and to learn with you. And probably I'll be studying you soon. So I hope this was a good experience for all of you.
I would like to just make a last comment. As a coordinator of the Brazilian youth group, I would like to say that we are open to share, to exchange experiences, and answering the question about how we could cross maybe if other coordinators of national chapters would be open to discuss and share experiences, would be something really interesting. We are open, so if you as a young evaluator wants to talk with us, just contact us. And that's it. We are doing some things within the group that are interesting, as we are, for example, we are conducting webinars where we invite a professional evaluator to share their experience. And in this moment, we make questions and we put ourselves as young evaluators. So those professionals start to know us. So they start to know that we exist, we are there, interested. And so it's a first sign that, hey, we are here. So this is an example of something that we can do to call attention for this. And we, as the Brazilian group of young evaluators, we are open to contribute, to exchange, and that's it. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. See you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.